How did you get involved with track as a kid?
First, before we go, that it's actually Mikel. So I don't want you to, you know, mess that up.
Mikel, sorry.
Yes, it's Mikel. It's Mikel. How did I get involved with track and field?
Yes, sir.
Um, Sport in Trinidad and Tobago is a pretty common thing. We have sport days all around the youths as kids, but I wouldn't say maybe until high school. Just being a knucklehead kid running around in the hallways, I got snatched by my dean, and he gave me an offer between detention and track practice. I think I made the better choice.
I hear you,
So
man.
that's kind of how it started for me. It was, something that pointed me in a different direction, and I'm grateful for that.
Definitely. So with the 110-meter hurdles, what is more important to landing each hurdle, speed or balance with movement?
Everything. It's not one over the other. I like to think of it as controlled aggression. It's like the power of a sniper. You have to be very precise with the weapon that you have, and everybody's cut differently. So I'm actually a quote unquote undersized 110-meter hurdler, but I have more power and more speed than the average taller guy. So you kind of have to utilize your skill set to the best as you can in displaying this amazing aggression with great finesse. So it's a little bit of both. There's a time where it's about explosion and power. There's a grace that's involved. There's a balance, and there's a control, and there's a reassertion. And all of this happens in 3 steps. Rinse and repeat, do it 10 times and die for the line. Every single race is literally methodical to that point. If you are that type of athlete where you can break it down 7 to 8 steps to the first hurdle, 3 in between, and 6 to 4 steps off the line. So it's a very beautiful routine dance.
Heck yeah, you got it down pat, man. My next question for you, Mr. Thomas, what was the difficult part about being a D1 athlete at Kentucky?
I don't think it was difficult at Kentucky. It's definitely different now. I did transfer over to Kentucky because I chose to bet on myself. I wanted to be in the SEC. But I think Kentucky was the right place, the right time for me. And now the program has, if you look at some of the hurdlers that have come out of Kentucky, from Daniel Roberts to the, Sidney McLaughlin has come from Kentucky. There's been so many Olympians in this last Olympics that have brought home medals that came from the University of Kentucky. I like to say I helped move that needle a little bit. I'm Camacho Quinn came from Kentucky. Who else? A world record holder in the 100-meter hurdles. Her name is slipping me now, but she also graduated from the University of Kentucky. So we have now a rich history in the hurdles, and I'm grateful to do my part in being a part of that.
Definitely, man. So how did Kentucky prepare your journey to the highest level as an Olympian for Team Trinidad?
It's the most competitive conference in the world, the SEC, Southeastern Conference. You're talking about LSU, Texas A&M, University of Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. These are powerhouses where some of the best athletes that you have 100% chance of racing an Olympian throughout the year. And unlike the circuit, there's no ducking and dodging. You're all going up against each other every weekend. And so that really raises your bar, raises your caliber, lets you know where you are. So once you can make an SEC final, or you can make an NCAA final, you're putting yourself in a really good position to make any really international team and see a lot of these people again somewhere in the world. So Kentucky was the place where I felt, for me, allowed me a chance to be a contributor to that program, to that team. And I'm grateful for my time there. Get a strong education, my bachelor's in kinesiology, and it just set the course for the rest of my journey. So I'm very grateful to be a proud Wildcat.
Definitely, man. So my next question for you, Mikel, were you superstitious before running? If so, what were your things you had to do before racing?
I wouldn't say superstitious, but routine. I didn't necessarily feel like if I broke my routine, it would like be bad luck, but I do like consistency. And so I truly believe like test yourself in training to see what works for you. If it works, bring that in race day. And so I don't need to be anybody else but the person that I am. So if I start going into a particular routine or a certain flow, I like to keep that flow as often as possible. But I would say in Kentucky and university, you have a lot more that you can control or that is controlled for you. When you get on the circuit, it's totally different. And so you have to have that flexibility because you can be in one place in one day and another side of the world the next. You can have a last minute entry into a big competition. So there's a lot of shifting that can happen, especially for athletes at various levels of the professional circuit, which is a tough word within track and field, what really needs to be professional. But it is something that you got to learn to have like a soft print, I like to say. There's a blueprint of things that you know that works, but the flexibility to adjust if necessary. That allows you the chance to build this kind of mental repertoire of different situations that you have the ability to respond to, because the fear of the unknown is one of the biggest things. So when you don't know what to do or what to come, that's when a lot of the pressure happens. But when you build all of these different experiences, you have something that's like it that you can return to that gives you a level of confidence to move forward.
Definitely, man. So, Michael, I'll leave you on this one. I have another one after it, but I'll wrap it up with this one. Mikel, the 110-meter hurdles, who's the best at it in the world, in your opinion?
Currently?
Yes, sir.
Grant Holloway, without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to lower the world record probably further than anybody else has in a long time. He has everything that you would need physically and mentally. He's a really solid athlete, but he's still young. I know a lot of people probably would want him to win the gold medal, but again, he's just building these experiences. And I think he just got the goods in order to really make that happen. There's still a good core of athletes that are to come. But internationally, I'm looking for more people to kind of challenge Grant in that regard. But I think right now our sport is in really good hands with Grant Holloway. The American contingent's coming up as well as pretty solid. Again, I mentioned Daniel Roberts. He's being one. We have a couple of, you can't go like Hansel Parchment. He's an Olympic champion. Can't forget about the Jamaicans. France normally has a strong cohort. GB always has somebody coming up. But I would love to continue to see more and more diversity in the sport across the globe. So it's a really good time for the 110-meter hurdles. World Championships will be exciting this year.
Heck yeah. Mikel Thomas, I'll leave you on this. Where can my audience find you on social media? And say your first name right.
It is Mikel Thomas, probably from Trinidad and Tobago. You can find me at Mikel_Thomas on all platforms, MIKEL_THOMAS.
Blessings, my brother. It's been a blessing to have you on our show, Sports Talk and the Success Table. And we'd welcome you back for another one, Mr. Thomas.